Max, good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Morning. Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yeah, how have you been? I haven't seen everybody in obviously forever.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm doing well. Yeah, obviously it's been very different the last few weeks, being staying at home, but I'm doing well. And yeah, it's nice to be back training a little bit in the small groups that we're allowed. So that has been good. Um, yeah, just sort of to change it up because it had been quite a while uh,
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you? What has been kind of a typical day in quarantine for you?
So at the beginning of quarantine, typical day, we had Zoom workouts with
Mm.
Ryan and the whole team. So mornings would be those Zoom sessions, which were good fun actually, and a good way to stay connected with the whole team. So a typical day would just be getting up, having my coffee in the morning, jumping on the Zoom call with everyone and getting an online workout. Um, and then just sort of the rest of the day, just doing anything for extra rehab with the injury that I've had,
Yeah.
and then just sort of things to sort of fill time, reading, podcasts, things like that. Really.
Yeah, have you found yourself picking up any new hobbies since quarantine? I have read so many books now that I just never had time to.
Yeah, I mean, I've always sort of been quite a big reader over the last couple of years, so I've
Yeah.
obviously more time to do that. But no, not really. Like I'm quite a structured guy anyway.
Mm.
Uh, So I've just sort of kept doing my own thing, things that work for me.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, routine is kind of what makes us kick. But I want to talk to you a little bit. Quarantine's been a bit different for you, and different maybe not in the sense of routine like we talked about, but that opportunity that quarantine and this epidemic has kind of given you. You obviously tore your ACL last season and couldn't compete towards the end. So you have been given, quote unquote, these extra few months to rehab and not miss any playing time.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of been a blessing in disguise. For me, it's given me that, as you said, that extra time to sort of work on the things I need to work on without missing any games. So, um, yeah, I mean, as the season was meant to start end of March, I wouldn't have been ready for that.
Yeah.
But this extra time has definitely given me, um, yeah, the ability not to miss any games when we come back, so I can sort of hit the ground running with the team.
Yeah, and you and I were talking about this earlier, just how kind of the rehab process can be grueling, and it can be physically tiring, it can be mentally tiring, but it can also be one of the most rewarding experiences ever when you hit just those few millimeters of flexion that you're supposed to, or when you pass that test that you're supposed to be on the road to being cleared when you first play contact for the first time. All of these little steps can be really rewarding. What has been the most rewarding part of this process for you?
Yeah, it definitely has been rewarding. I think everything is always perspective, the way you look at things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but probably the most rewarding thing for me is the the realization of how much I love the game and love playing. Because I think it could be easy to sort of be like, okay, yeah, I don't really want to go through that and play. But I've also been very lucky with the way the club has treated me and the support I've had from the club um, to continue doing what I love and that sort of that realization of how much I love playing the game and want to continue playing and kicking on.
Yeah. So how has this, just in general, the whole recovery process been for you? You have great resources here, but like we talked about, it can be over and over and the same thing, and it can be hard to kind of get your attitude and your mindset in the right place. What has been kind of the charging factor for you to wake up every day and go to rehab, especially during quarantine when season seems like it could happen, it couldn't happen? What has been that attitude shift for you?
I actually don't think my attitude has changed. It's just the what it's going like what my attitude is directed towards has
Mm,
changed. So instead of getting up and focusing on training every day and improving in training, is more so getting up every day and just training on my knee and
yeah.
my whole body and that sort of direction of my attitude.
So what has been, tell me a couple of exercises that you think have been kind of, obviously you go in stages for, you know, a knee rehab. So the first stage, what did they have you working on?
Yeah, I remember sort of, I think it might have even been 24 hours or 48 hours after surgery, and you're in with the physio and you're working on getting your flexion and your extension back. And so that sort of first stage of getting the motion of your knee back. And then it's just, it's a slow process. One thing, like I've never had an injury before, so like how slow a process it can be, but you just sort of have to tick all the boxes and get through it. And as I said before, like I'm very lucky with the club and the process that they've done with me, and also with Bon Secure and the physios at Bon Secure. Just everything sort of lined out for me. The direction they're given from them. So it's a tough process, but as I said, lucky just have the good people around me to help me.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Patience is such a key thing to rehab. Have you found that you have needed to work on the mental side of things just as much as the physical side of things?
Yeah, it's definitely a test mentally as well. As you said, like the patience, sometimes you want to rush things, and that short-term gratification that we all want so badly, you really have to put it on the back burner and look at it the long term. So yeah, I mean, it is tough, but it's like, in a weird way, I've sort of enjoyed it. That battle within has been interesting, and I've enjoyed that.
Yeah, but you know, as much as the mental side and the physical side of things play a huge role, there are so many other things that are important in a recovery process, whether that's your diet, your sleep, whatever it may be. What do you feel have been the biggest factors for you to come back successfully?
Yeah, for me, just that support system around you. I think there's times where you want to do things by yourself and sort of internalize a lot, but it's definitely been very, very helpful having friends, family, the club as well, all the players here at the club. That sort of support system around you has been a massive factor.
One of the big things that you were a huge supporter of last season was Revive Aesthetics and getting those injections. Can you kind of tell me how that enhances the recovery process, and even make it specific? You know, is that more important to you now that you have recovered from an ACL tear, and do you plan to keep using it this next season?
Yeah, definitely. Last season I was sort of using it on that Thursday or Friday before a Saturday game, and then also beginning of the week following the Saturday game, and I found it a massive help. Definitely something that I'm going to continue to do coming into this season. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting back in there.
What is the process like?
Hydration, vitamins or vitamins, and like amino acids and things like that. So yeah, pre-match I used it, and then post-match as well.
So I was talking to Aaron and Brandon, like I said, last week, and I was kind of telling them, I feel like during this time, it can be really easy, especially, you know, the weather has been so gloomy this week, and it can just be kind of easy to get down when you can't really get out of the house. You can't go do the thing you love at full force. But it's been important, at least for me, to find this kind of ray of sunshine that I like to call it, whether that's, you know, curling up with a good book, finding sunshine when you can. I'm curious, what has been your kind of quote unquote ray of sunshine during this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, this week the weather has been very reminiscent of back home in England. But yeah, I mean, when the weather's like this, I still will try and get outside for a little bit. The cold, or it's not really that cold, but the rain is sort of something I'm a little bit used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think, as you said, like a book or a podcast is sort of my go-to. I'm not really much of a gamer. I used to do that when I was little, but I sort of tried to use my time a little bit more wisely and sort of wind down using a book or podcast. But yeah, I mean, that would sort of be my go-to.
What is the one place that you are most looking forward to going to when this is all over? For me, it's going to be a coffee shop for sure.
Uh, the, I'm not sure. I enjoy my food, so probably to keep exploring some of the places in Greenville to eat, so restaurants.
Yeah.
That'll be good to get back to doing that.
Yeah, this has given you at least some good time to put together a thorough list of places that you want to go try.
Yeah, which I haven't done, so maybe I should.
Yeah, that can be your homework for today. Well, Max, thank you so much for talking with me. It was so good to see you guys, and I hope everything with the rehab process continues to go well, and hopefully we will see you back on the field. I know that we all want to be back at Legacy as soon as possible. So we'll catch you later.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, good to speak to you.
Bye, Max.
Bye.